Gary Parrish here with first-year Indiana coach Darian DeVries. Darren, Drake, West Virginia, Indiana. I don't think it's in most people's plans to have 3 different jobs in 3 different years. What has that experience been like for you?
Yeah, there's anytime you make a transition, there's a lot more to it than people think. It's not just the basketball transition. You got a family and housing and those things to get through or to figure out. So, but right now, we're on the back end of that, and everything is getting a little more calm and a little more like routine. So it's been a good thing.
I've talked to coaches who have been in similar situations, and on one hand they say you dream on some level of getting a job offer like the offer from Indiana. On the other hand, you just sort of got settled into a place, and it can also kind of be like a nightmare. Like I wasn't looking to leave. I didn't expect to be in this situation. What was that experience like for you to have that, placed in front of you and even before your first year at West Virginia was done?
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there. It's like you're incredibly happy. You're just getting started, and you got a lot of like support and great people that you're around, and then you get the opportunity to coach at a place like Indiana, and then you have to you really process like this opportunity and what that's all about. And for me, ultimately, it's like Indiana is just one of those dream jobs that when you get into this profession. When you get the opportunity to lead this program, it was just something that I felt like it was too good to pass up, and so very excited to be here and leading Indiana.
Obviously, when you are the Indiana basketball coach, you're not just a basketball coach. You're a celebrity, in some ways, the biggest sports figure in the state. Have you talked to Tom Crean, Mike Davis, any of the former coaches, Archie Miller, about what it's like holding that position?
Yeah, I really haven't had a lot of time to do that to this point, but I certainly understand, the passion behind Indiana basketball, and which I think is awesome. I think it's a place where they love their hoops, and they show up, and they're excited about it, and that's what you want. You want to have a program where people are very passionate about it. It's a part of their lives, and we want them to feel like we're all in this together. One
of the things that should make the move easier than it otherwise would have been is you're bringing an All-American player with you, who happens to be your son, Tucker. He's had shoulder surgery, I believe 3 different times on both shoulders. Has just been banged up. One year after another. Everything I've heard lately, though, suggests that he's feeling as good as he's felt in a long time. Where is he at health-wise right now?
Yeah, as you mentioned, he's probably the best he's felt maybe since his freshman year with us at Drake. So I'm excited for him to finally be healthy. Hopefully all the surgeries are behind him now, and he can have just a good, healthy year. And people that have dealt with injuries like that, they understand everything that comes with that, and the rehab and things. So that can be very frustrating. So for him, I hope that's all behind him, and now he gets to move forward. But he feels great. He looks good, and he's feeling good, and that's the main thing.
One of the great father-son combos in college basketball history is probably Greg McDermott and Doug McDermott. You obviously had a front row seat to watch that. Do you pull anything from that experience and implement it in the ways that you coach your own son?
Yeah, I think you pull a lot of how that went, and that their relationship. I'm sure they got some other stories behind the scenes, but Greg and Doug were terrific about it. I thought their approach every day was really good. I thought they did a great job of separating like a player and coach when we were playing, and then outside of that, his father, son, and we've really tried to do that as well. But I get to do that 4 years with Doug and Greg was certainly helpful.
Earlier this offseason, you take your team to Puerto Rico. You guys went 3-0 there, and I know one of the things Indiana fans notice is that the program was shooting more threes than maybe they had been used to watching in recent years. Is that an emphasis for you? Will Indiana prioritize the three-point shot this season?
Yeah, it's a big part of how we play. Is we want to take a lot of threes. It's a huge part of our offense. Play in transition, play free, play in attack mode. But we do want to shoot threes. We don't want to get crazy, but we want to get them up, and we recruit to that. So because it is such a big philosophy of ours on the offensive end.
Obviously, it's a mostly new team. It's just sort of the nature of the sport these days, particularly with the coaching change. But one of the transfers you brought in, Nick Dorn from Elon, who averaged more than 15 points per game last season. I know he had foot surgery this offseason and has been limited, but where is he at right now?
Yeah, he still hasn't been able to practice yet, so he's still on the road to recovery. He's getting closer every day, but we haven't been able to see what he can do with us yet. But we're hoping that time comes very, very quickly.
Last thing before I get you out of here, every year when we come to this thing, somebody points out that the Big Ten has not won a national championship since Michigan State in 2000. You are in charge of one of the programs that is set up in many ways to compete for that annually. Does that mean something to you? Not just bringing a championship to Indiana someday, but bringing a championship to the Big Ten someday?
Well, I think everybody, like that's what you're striving for is to win a championship. I think for us, we don't really put our sights maybe on what that end goal is. It's just what do we got to do in the short term to put ourselves in the best position. That's our only focus right now is what do we got to do to hopefully have that be the end result to get us there. What
does success look like to you in year one? Obviously, it's a new team, and you've got a guy who should be a rotation player still sidelined. Do you have in your head what a successful first year would be?
Yeah, really not at all in terms of like wins and losses. I just know like what our group is and how can we best maximize what this group is capable of. That's our biggest goal every single day is, when we meet every morning, it's like, all right, where are we at? What did we do well this week? What did we do well yesterday? What do we need to do better today? And as long as you can keep that mindset going along and you can keep making progress, not only in the off season here, but as the games start to come, are we getting better? In December and January and February, so that we're playing our best basketball by March. And then if you are, now you're in a good place.
Hey, congrats on all your success. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.